What up, world? This is MIQUEL Powell, the CEO of Social Life 585 and your host of Second Chance Podcast. This is our first episode, and we're happy to have an amazing guest. Welcome into the Second Chances Podcast, Izzy the Comedian. What's going on, my brother?
Peace. Peace.
Izzy, we go way back, man. I'm glad that you was able to come on the show. I appreciate you for taking your time out to come and tell your story, your re-entry story. So tell the people, who is Izzy the Comedian?
First of all, it's an honor to be on the show, man. From where we come from and our background and all the stuff we've been through, to have an opportunity to do something positive in front of somebody who come from where I come from and the backgrounds I come from is always an honor. As far as who Izzy the Comedian is, Izzy the Comedian is Rochester's
funniest comedian.
Rochester's one of Rochester's funniest comedians. I'm just a person who decided to fill that void in my life that I walked away from when I stopped doing negative things with some kind of laughter and stuff like that. And it's been working out, man. My takeoff has been good compared to a lot of people who started when I started, so it is working for me. So
absolutely. Before we get into some more serious questions, let's talk about your childhood. What was it about your childhood that influenced you and kind of led to you being the man that you is today?
I think that the fact that I had opportunities and just didn't take advantage of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I come from a family where some went to prison, some went to college. So the opportunities was there. I can't blame it on my upbringing and stuff like that. And I had role models growing up. Shout out to the Willie Lightfoot senior people who was there when I was growing up, who provided opportunities for Cedric Walker, the track coach, like people who was there for us growing up. I seen what it meant to have positive people in your life. I just chose to go a different path. You know what I'm saying? But there are people who took those same role models, man, and blew up.
Absolutely. I think a lot of the times we say that we didn't have positive male role models, but when we sit back and think, we did have those role models. Yeah. What did a kid like Izzy the Comedian want to be? What did you want to be when you was growing up?
I thought I was going to be either a basketball player or a rapper. I thought for sure I was going to be a rapper or a basketball player, man. It's funny too, man, because when I get into it, I think almost every dream I had when I was incarcerated was me being a rapper or a basketball player.
Wow. Absolutely. So you said that you wanted to be a ball player. You had thoughts of being a rapper. If you look back on your life, if anything, what would you say went wrong? What went wrong for Izzy the Comedian? You got to be honest, brother. What went wrong, man?
I think what went wrong for me was the moment for me was when I stopped caring about school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, think early in my elementary days and stuff like that, I was a really good student. I think once I got to middle school and seeing other influences from other neighborhoods and how the reaction from the teachers and to the students and what they allowed them to do in those, me being a class clown, I just went crazy. You gave me an inch, I took a yard. I think that was the beginning of the end for me. You know what I mean? You gave me an inch in middle school and I just went crazy with it. Wow. You know what I mean? So you was incarcerated at a young age. How old were you and how did that impact you at that time? I was 17 when I went to prison. And I think the impact of it at the time didn't really hit because I was so immature. You know what I mean? I went to jail. Most people who go to jail at that age don't fully think that they're going to do that amount of time. You have to select the few who go in the law library like, I got to get out of jail. But most people that's 17, 18, 16, our loved ones, I know when they go there, they always think there's something's going to happen that's going to get them out of jail earlier. Even if they don't do nothing about it.
A new law
They think a new law is going to pass. They're going to save somebody's life. Something's going to happen that's going to stop them from doing them 25 years, those 20 years. Right. That's how they think. So most people, you wonder how they're coping with getting sentenced for 25 years or 20 years. They don't believe they're going to do it until it's done.
And how much time did you get sentenced to at 17 years old?
I got sentenced to 12 and a half, 25. I took 12 and a half, 25 as a cop-out. My max was 75 to 150. I took 12 and a half, 25. in order not to get the max. I mean, and I ended up doing, off that 12 and that 25, I did about 15.
So from 17 years old to 15, you was incarcerated.
Till I was 32, I was locked up.
Oh, wow. And after spending 15 years incarcerated, going in at 17 years old, how was the transition? How was it coming home after all that time?
The transition for me, I had good people behind me, man. You know what I mean? The transition for me, I had examples of people who had came home and got their life together. Like I remember when my father came home and decided that he wasn't in the streets no more. And I watched him grind and turn down a lot of opportunities to be in the streets, to keep his grind going and become who he became, and it worked for him. I had friends who went home who stuck to the guns, and it worked for them. So I seen that it could happen. Plus, before jail, I didn't have no success in the streets anyways. It wasn't like I was no big time drug dealer.
Right,
I wasn't getting no money or nothing like that. I was just a nut. Like, you know what I'm saying? A young dude was out here being a nut. So it's not like I thought about all this money to get to when I came home. All my thoughts in jail was to come home and do the right thing anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just a matter of getting out here. You know what I mean?
And I think if we being honest, a lot of times we be in the streets, but we don't be making all the money that we say we making. So that's one of the things that I looked at too when I was incarcerated, when I was trying to weigh my options of going back to the streets. I wasn't successful neither. So it didn't add up to me. It wasn't like I knew that I can go home and make $200,000 because I had it before. Nah, I ain't have it like that.
I didn't see no money beforehand, so it
was easy for me.
I ain't missing money, you know what I'm saying?
So after returning back from home for so long, being incarcerated at 17 years old, spending 15 years in prison, it seems like to me, family, having a career, doing the right thing is important to you. Where did you start changing the way you thought about your life in that way, to where you wanted to get married, you wanted to have a career, you wanted to stay out of trouble? When did that begin for you?
I think those thoughts started before I came home. I think coming home, there's always those hiccups. There's always those easy out opportunities that you see. You like, you know what? I ain't gonna be all the way in, but I'm gonna do a little bit of this because this might work for me and stuff like that. And I think that'd be the problem with most people. I think me being home, as long as I've been home, has been pure luck. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pure luck, because I know from working with the kids now, you can be the smallest thing can get you reincarcerated when you out here. So with me, it's been a lot of luck. You know what I'm saying? I've had my moments where I wasn't thinking about curfew and stuff like that. I wanted to stay out a little longer and party and stuff like that. So I think with me, it's been a lot of luck and a lot of. I pride myself on being a thinker too. I think about a lot of stuff. I think about consequences and stuff like that. And just out here coming home from being in prison, people think it's nothing to be proud of, but you have a lot of pride coming home after doing that amount of time. And I think one of the hardest things coming out here is not letting anybody trick you out the streets. I never was a sucker, so it's not hard for me to let stuff go. You know what I'm saying? I see it'd be a lot of stuff that most people can't let go, that I can let go because I know it's somebody around who know who I am. You know what I'm saying? I've always been around somebody who could vouch for me at every stage of my life. So it'd be certain stuff that I'm going to let go that people normally don't be able to let go. And I think that's been one of the biggest things for me. My success comes from eating my pride on a lot of stuff.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you said that too, because that is one of the big dilemmas that people coming home from jail had to face. Whether when you was in the streets, you handled and you reacted and you did things one way.
Even in jail.
Yeah, even in jail, you have to be that way and keep that same type of mentality. But then when you come home, you learn quickly that you can't move or react or do the same things now because you live in a different life, and that's the easiest way to go back to prison is one mistake.
It's surrounding yourself with people who are going to remind you how stupid you look when you do stupid stuff. You don't want to surround yourself with people who are going to make you think you tough when you're doing dumb stuff. You want people that's around you that's going to be like, yo,
that shit is dumb.
What is you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want nobody cheering no bull. You want people that be like, yo, you wildin'. That's not you. Like, I've seen so many people that come home that I thought would be brilliant out here. They had so much potential. When I was locked up with them, I'm like, yeah, he gonna go home and he gonna, and they come out here and it don't translate for them because they don't survive out here. They just prison people. I never was a prison person. I just knew how to move in it. My thoughts was always in the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I know and I consider you one of the funniest comedians in upstate New York. What do you do for a living outside of comedy?
I do gun violence outreach. I work with high-risk kids. I work with individuals that's the highest risk of shooting someone and getting shot in the community. And I do that by mediating conflicts. I mean, I find out who's who in the community and find a way to relate to them and find out what's going on with them. And we mediate the conflicts. We get right down to the nitty-gritty, man. And I've been doing that almost 10 years.
Wow, so you trying to tell me that a person that spent 15 years in prison from the age of 17 is now on the front lines of anti-gun violence in your city?
I'm telling you that a person that did 15 years in prison, who gangbanged, who sold drugs, who did it all, is on the front line of trying to save the youth from our city.
Wow.
I didn't coast through my bed. I ain't coast when I came home. I don't get it twisted. I came home wanting to do the right thing, but I brought a lot of bull with me that I didn't let go. It took me years of letting go. Sometimes you got to see some good to let go of the bad. Yeah. And one thing I always tell people, and this is big, I want to just say this for people who coming home, you can't change your past. You can't change nothing you did in the past. And people going to always judge you off what you did. There's going to be some people who never going to let that go. All you can do is continue to create a space between that brick wall of your past and that, and give more people reason to judge you for who you are now, because there's going to always be people that's going to be like, he was a gang member. There's going to be always people that say he went to prison for this. But all I can do is every year continue to create space from who that person was to who I am now, and can't be mad when people bring it up, because it's what I did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And to me, to be honest with you, your life story is what I consider legendary. You know, we put the title of legendary on our street career, what we did in the streets, but legendary to me is coming home and doing something different and still maintain the principles, the respect that you still have. You don't compromise your integrity, but you still doing something different. I think a lot of people don't know how hard it is to walk a certain kind of way with your past behind you and other people knowing how you used to be. So I think that's what's really legendary.
I think that most of us know that because we're non-violent now, don't mean, like, you know how many people I don't beat up in my head or I don't did something to in my head. We walking away and in my mind, I don't got in a lot of fights in my head. Like, beforehand, I went home and fought the mirror. You know what I'm saying? You know that scene in Boys in the Hood when he go in the hood? Yeah, I went home plenty of times punching the air. Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, you are who you are, man, and it bothers you. The thing is to get past it, man.
Because one of the things we always say is, man, 20 years ago they wouldn't have said that, or 20 years ago I wouldn't have let that slide.
Man, I wish 20 years ago I let some of that stuff slide, man.
Wow.
Now, I think about even a person like you, a person like me, how great we are. Now, how much we're doing right now, imagine had we not lost that time, man. Wow. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody out here getting a whole lot of money that's supposed to be ours, man, because we lost so much time, man. Absolutely.
So real fast, before we wrap it up, so where did the comedian come from? Izzy the Comedian. What got you into comedy, man?
That's the question that's asked most, because people be like, I never even seen you laugh, let alone tell a joke. And I think that comes from, like, I always was told I was funny growing up. Like, people you have to know me to know I'm funny, because I'm always on guard for people who don't know me. I'm always a standoffish or looking a certain way. But when you know me, you know I'm a funny person. So I've always been told by my mom, and you should be a comedian. And I always listen to comedy tapes. I think that what got me there was me trying to get away from the environment that people knew me in that negative light in. So I stopped going to, like, certain venues where a lot of the people from my neighborhood hung at, and I found myself at little, like, suburban bars and white bars. And one day they had an open mic. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? I seen some comedians go up. I'm like, I'm writing my name down. Erased my name. Came back the next week though, wrote my name down, erased my name. And by like the third week, my boy Good News, shout out to my boy Good News, Good news. Fine. First of all, Yolanda Smiles have been telling me, just do it. But my boy Good News was there. He like, man, just go up there, man. And I went up there and I did good. He like, man, you funny as hell. And they gave me the confidence to come back the next week. And then probably like 7 months in, I had won Rochester's Funniest. I won the competition.
Wow.
And went to the championship in Buffalo that same year, like my first year. So it gave me confidence and stuff like that.
That's amazing. So tell our viewers, where can they find you at on social media?
They can find me on all platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything. Izzy the Comedian, man. That's why I'm no more Lord Islam, no more Attica is. Strictly Izzy the Comedian, man. When you come on my page, come for the funny, man. That's it.
I got one question for you, man. Where in the hell did the character Pop-Off come from that's an internet sensation? If y'all haven't seen the character Pop-Off, you got to go on Izzy the Comedian page and you got to find all the videos with Pop-Off. It's hilarious. But where did that idea and that character come from?
Oh, that's a character, but that character is a worldwide character. It's a Pop-Off in everybody's hood. Everybody know that everybody hood. Because one thing about a person who's on crack, they all ain't always been on crack. Some of them people used to be gangsters, and some of the people still have that gangster mentality. You can't play with them. And I was trying to bring that back. A lot of people relate to it. I'm just trying to bring that character back, that person that, even though he smoked, you know not to play with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a few of those in my neighborhood. I ain't gonna mention no names, but when they came around, the drug dealers went in early and stuff like that because you couldn't trust them, man. So shout out to Pop-Off, man. Pop-Off doing this thing, man.
Absolutely. I'm telling y'all, you got to go and see all the videos with Pop-Off on it. Before I let you go, man, I think we had a great conversation. I just wanted to ask you a serious question because of your life experience. We see so many people like us that's incarcerated, go and do time, but like you said earlier, the brothers come out for some reason, they reoffend or commit a new crime after coming home from doing a significant amount of time. One, why do you think that is? And what advice do you have for brothers and sisters that's getting ready to come home?
I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You might even want me. I don't know if y'all gonna cut this out, but
we ain't cutting nothing out. It is what it is.
I'm gonna tell you. I learned this from you, right? There's no lie. I'm not making this up. Some of this thing I learned this from you. You have to change before you come home. You was the first person that I knew for 100% when I was locked up with that when you wasn't coming back to jail. 100%. Because you had already made the changes. The stuff that we was doing that's still illegal in jail, we still was, when I come home, I'm gonna stop this. You had already, I don't do that no more. And that was a lesson I learned after you left my last 2 years. Like, you gotta start making the changes now. And when you hear people in jail and they saying stuff like,
I got one more in me.
No, when they say stuff like, when I go home, I'm gonna take mad pictures, and because they mad they don't got no pictures of themselves in jail, that mean they planning for their next bid. When I go home, I'm gonna take mad pictures because they want to have pictures for when they come back to jail. When they say stuff like that, you gotta listen to the conversation. When I go home, I'm gonna take way more pictures because they mad they don't got no pictures of themselves in jail. So they plan to go home to commit the crimes. You got to change before you get out there. Like that, you got to make some kind of change within yourself. You may not change 100% because you're in prison, but you got to make some kind of changes before you come home. You know what I'm saying? It got to already be that. You can't walk out the prison from being a gangster the last day in jail to being, you know what I'm saying, that absolute perfect person. You got to start working on yourself in there. And I attribute that to you. I remember bragging about you, telling people like he ain't coming back. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Let him do him. Because you prison people be angry at you for doing the right thing. Right. People mad at him because, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with your boy? I'm like, man, chill. My boy go home, man. Let him go home. I need a friend in the streets.
Right, you know and that's a fact, dude. And I did that consciously. Yeah. Early on in my incarceration, I knew that I wasn't coming back. So I always used to say, they better get all the time they could out me right now because they ain't gonna get a chance to get me again. But I knew that I was coming home to an environment that I left and I had a little name for myself. So in order for me to come home and be successful, I had to make those changes while I was incarcerated still. So it's like practice. So I stayed to myself a lot because I used to always ride around and be with somebody every day. I stopped smoking weed and doing all that stuff. I did all that while I was still incarcerated. But do you know how hard it is to do that while you're around all the gangsters still? It's hard to make those changes in there. So I was able to do it, and I appreciate you too. Iz helped me down a lot of the times when I was in there, and I attribute that to Iz, man. That's one of the things that he was known for. He was like a problem solver in there. But Iz, I thank you so much for coming and sharing your perspective, sharing your story. I appreciate
just one more thing. I was just to show people how real you is with this. How long you had this program?
Since 2017.
2017. In 2008, when I was going to my board, he sent me reentry stuff. He sent me stuff for reentry from Pathstone and stuff. I remember you sent me some papers. You got me in contact with somebody who wrote a letter for me to go to my board for a reentry when I got out there. So you've been about the reentry stuff.
Wow.
So shout out to you for that, bro.
All right. Everybody deserves a second chance. This is MIQUEL Powell. This is Izzy the Comedian. Make sure you go and like all Social Life 585 on all platforms. Make sure you go like Izzy the Comedian, one of the funniest, one of the realest. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you.